Right now, somewhere off the coast of northern Australia, there's a jellyfish the size of your fingernail drifting through the ocean. It's completely transparent. You can't see it. You can't feel it sting you. But 30 minutes after it touches your skin, your blood pressure skyrockets, your muscles seize, your lungs start to shut down, and you're hit with an overwhelming, medically documented sensation that you are about to die. And somehow, that's not even the most dangerous animal on this continent. Australia is home to the most venomous snake on Earth, the most venomous marine creature on Earth, spiders whose bite can kill a child in 15 minutes, and an octopus the size of a golf ball, carrying enough venom to kill 26 adults, with no known antidote. But here's the real question. Nobody asks, why? Why did one single continent produce so many creatures that seem specifically engineered to destroy anything that touches them? The answer starts 180 million years ago, and it's way worse than you think. To understand why Australia's wildlife reads like a horror movie cast list, you need to understand one thing. Australia has been alone for a very, very long time. Around 180 million years ago, Australia was part of a supercontinent called Gondwana, a massive landmass that also included South America, Africa, India, and Antarctica. But then something happened. The continent cracked apart, and Australia began drifting north, completely isolated, surrounded by ocean on every side. For roughly 100 million years, this chunk of land floated through the ocean like a sealed terrarium. No new predators could arrive. No new prey could escape. Everything on that continent was locked into an evolutionary arms race with everything else, with nowhere to go and no outside help. And here's where it gets really interesting. As Australia drifted north, its climate shifted dramatically. What was once lush rainforest dried out into one of the harshest, most arid landscapes on the planet. Water became scarce, food became unreliable, and in a world where resources are limited and competition is brutal, evolution doesn't reward the biggest. It rewards the most efficient killer. Venom became the ultimate weapon. Why waste energy chasing prey when a single bite can shut down a nervous system in seconds? Why fight a predator twice your size when you can paralyze it before it even knows you're there? This is why Australia doesn't just have dangerous animals. It has the most dangerous versions of almost every category. The most venomous snake, the most venomous jellyfish, the most venomous octopus. Evolution didn't just produce killers here, it optimized them. Let's meet them. Let's start with the animal that holds the single most terrifying title in all of biology, the most venomous land snake on Earth. The inland taipan lives in the remote, sun-scorched plains of central Australia, a landscape so desolate that scientists actually lost track of this species for 90 years. It was first described in 1879 and then essentially vanished from scientific records until it was rediscovered in 1972. Its venom has an LD50 of 0.025 milligrams per kilogram, making it the most potent venom ever measured in any land snake. To put that in perspective, a single bite delivers around 44 milligrams of venom. That's enough to kill over 100 adult humans, or roughly 250,000 mice. But the inland taipan's venom isn't just powerful, it's terrifyingly complex. It contains neurotoxins that shut down nerve signals, hemotoxins that destroy your blood's ability to clot, and a special enzyme called hyaluronidase, a spreading factor that accelerates how fast the venom moves through your body. It's not just a weapon, it's a delivery system. The taipan doesn't even need to wait for its prey to die. It bites multiple times in rapid succession and holds on, because the venom works so fast that the animal is paralyzed before it can fight back. And here's the twist that makes this even more unsettling. Despite having the deadliest venom of any land snake, the inland taipan has never actually killed a human. Not because it can't, but because it lives in such an incredibly remote part of Australia that almost nobody ever encounters one. Only about 11 people have ever been bitten, and all survived thanks to immediate anti-venom treatment. The most lethal snake on the planet is also one of the shyest. But it gets worse from here. If the inland taipan is the most venomous land animal, the box jellyfish might be the most dangerous creature in the ocean. Chironex fleckeri, the Australian box jellyfish, drifts through the warm coastal waters of northern Australia, and it has tentacles that can stretch up to 3 meters long, covered in millions of microscopic harpoons called nematocysts. Each one fires on contact, injecting a venom that simultaneously attacks the heart, the nervous system, and the skin. Victims don't just feel pain. The venom can cause cardiac arrest within minutes. At least 70 fatal box jellyfish stings have been recorded in Australia since 1880. And unlike most jellyfish, the box jellyfish isn't just drifting blindly. It has 24 eyes, including eyes with lenses that can actually form images. This thing can see, it can navigate, it can actively hunt. But the box jellyfish has a smaller, more terrifying cousin. And this is where Australia's ocean becomes a genuine nightmare. The irukandji jellyfish is barely 1 to 2 centimeters across, roughly the size of a dime. It's completely transparent. You cannot see it in the water, and its sting feels like almost nothing, about as noticeable as a mosquito bite. But then, 20 to 40 minutes later, something terrifying happens. The venom triggers a cascade of symptoms now known as irukandji syndrome: severe lower back pain, excruciating muscle cramps, nausea and vomiting. Your blood pressure spikes to dangerous levels. Your heart starts racing uncontrollably. And then comes the symptom that makes this creature truly unique in all of medicine: a profound, overwhelming sense of impending doom. This isn't anxiety. This isn't fear. This is a pharmacological effect of the venom itself. Victims become absolutely convinced, with total certainty, that they are about to die. Some have begged their doctors to kill them just to make it stop. And here's what makes the irukandji even more disturbing. It's so small, it passes right through the safety nets designed to protect swimmers from jellyfish. Most cases of irukandji syndrome actually happen inside net enclosures because the openings are 2 centimeters wide and the jellyfish simply swims through. The scientist who first identified the irukandji, Dr. Jack Barnes, was so determined to prove this tiny jellyfish was the cause of the syndrome that in the 1960s he captured one and deliberately stung himself, his 9-year-old son, and a local lifeguard. All 3 were hospitalized with severe symptoms, but he proved his point. Now imagine you're walking through a tidal pool in Australia. You see a small, beautiful octopus, maybe the size of a golf ball, resting in a rock crevice. It's yellowish brown, seems harmless. Then you notice the rings, bright electric blue rings pulsing across its body. That's the warning. And if you're seeing it, you're already too close. The blue-ringed octopus carries tetrodotoxin, the same neurotoxin found in pufferfish, but delivered through a nearly painless bite. This toxin is estimated to be over 1,000 times more powerful than cyanide. A single octopus carries enough venom to kill 26 adult humans. And there is no antidote. Tetrodotoxin works by blocking sodium channels in your nerve cells, essentially cutting the communication between your brain and your muscles. You become fully paralyzed. But here's the horrifying detail. You remain completely conscious. You can hear, you can think. You just can't move, can't speak, and can't breathe. Death comes from suffocation because your diaphragm simply stops working. The only treatment is mechanical ventilation, someone manually breathing for you until the toxin wears off, which can take hours. If you're alone when you're bitten, your chances of survival drop dramatically. And recently, scientists discovered something even stranger. Male blue-ringed octopuses deliberately inject this same venom into females during mating, essentially sedating their partners to avoid being eaten alive. The mothers then inject the toxin into their eggs, so the babies are born already venomous. And these are just the headliners. Australia's full roster of deadly creatures is almost absurdly deep. The Sydney funnel web spider has fangs that can pierce a fingernail and venom that can kill a child in just 15 minutes. As a fluke of biology, human beings are especially sensitive to their venom, more so than most other animals. The saltwater crocodile, the largest living reptile on Earth, can grow over 6 meters long, weigh over 1,000 kilograms, and has the most powerful bite of any animal ever measured. They've been known to drag prey underwater and perform a death roll, spinning violently until the victim is torn apart. The stonefish sits motionless on the ocean floor, perfectly camouflaged as a rock. Step on it, and 13 dorsal spines inject a venom so painful that victims have described it as the worst agony of their lives. And perhaps the most unsettling fact of all, Australia has 21 of the world's 25 most venomous snakes. Not just the taipan, 21. But here's the paradox that makes Australia genuinely fascinating. Despite being home to arguably the most dangerous collection of animals on Earth, the actual risk of dying from one of them is incredibly low. Between 2000 and 2013, over 41,000 people in Australia were hospitalized from venomous bites and stings, but only 64 of them died. More Australians are killed by horses than by snakes. More are killed by bee stings than by spiders. These animals evolved to be lethal, not to us, but to each other. We're just collateral damage in a 100 million year arms race on a continent that was designed, from the very beginning, to produce the most efficient killers evolution has ever created. Australia didn't just create dangerous animals, it created a continent where being dangerous was the only way to survive. If you think Australia's animals are extreme, wait until you see what's hiding at the bottom of the ocean. That video is right here. Subscribe if you haven't. We're just getting started.